Welcome in, you clerics, oracles, animists, and more to ranks 4 and 5 of the Divine Spell List Deep Dive. I'm Lord Generic, and this is Practical Pathfinder, where we are going to look at the Divine Spell List and give you kind of a quick breakdown of some general good loadouts and general spells to consider. Now, in my opinion, rank 4 is when Divine pops off. Now that you've hit level 7 and have rank 4 spells, you're gold. You are insanely good. And for damage dealers, you are eating a feast. You are feasting hard. Divine Wrath, my beloved, is finally available. Divine Wrath is a 20-foot burst fortitude save that does decent damage, a d10 per rank, not as good of damage as what other spell types get, but your divine damage is not your specialty. But most importantly, spirit damage rules. You apply Sickened 1 on a failed save. This is an insanely good debuff AOE against crowds, and most importantly, no friendly fire. This bad boy only hurts enemies. You can just throw it into the crowd and you'll stop hearing complaints from your fighter. Thank goodness. You would have been the one to heal them anyways, so why are they always complaining, you know? If you want a higher damage single target version of Divine Wrath, Painful Vibrations is basically just that. A little better on spellcasters because it applies the deafen condition, but it's mostly just single target Divine Wrath. Pernicious Poltergeist, this spell rules, by the way. This is the sustained damage field of bad. This creates a small zone when you cast it, and when you sustain it, you pick one of 3 options every time. And most importantly, we have an area damage fortitude save, a single target reflex save, and a debuff will save. That's right. Pernicious Poltergeist is the only spell that targets all 3 saving throws at the same time. This spell is good on every enemy in the game. Now, you know, it might not always be ideal, but that's just super good. Team up with your friends, use choke points, doorways. If your buddies can grapple or shove enemies back into the zone of bad or hold them in, you can do so much damage. It's absolutely worth it. And Whispers of the Void, if you don't want the other ones, it's okay. This is an AOE fortitude save and does persistent damage, which is interesting. Persistent negative damage, also known as void damage. But more importantly, it applies Drained 1 on a failed save. Drained is a really rare debuff. It reduces their fortitude saves, but more importantly, immediately deals damage to them and lowers their max health by their level, as if their constitution stat went down. This might be really good for certain team comps if you throw a lot of fortitude saves or have like a poisoner alchemist on the team. And our buffs are pretty good at this point too. Fly, classic scroll, classic spell. It lets you fly. Yeah. Anyways. Unfettered movement is pretty good. This is a spell that allows you to escape any grabs, anything reducing speed penalties. If something does grab you, you can just spend an action and auto escape. So good against monsters that want to swallow you whole. Note, against magic effects, you need to make an opposed roll, like you're using Dispel Magic. You have to use counteract rolls. A little annoying, but always works against things like grapple. Great buff when you need it. And last, we have an uncommon buff. This thing is super good, super powerful if your GM allows it. Zange's March, also called War March. Basically, this is an AOE to hit buff. This is kind of like, I'm not playing a bard, but for this fight, I'm gonna turn myself into a bard with this sustain spell. You're gonna pulse out this AOE to hit fortitude and will save buff, and it's a +1 at rank 4, but at ranks 7 and 10, it becomes +2 and +3, which, just like heroism before it, is wildly powerful. But if you're done feasting on the power of Divine Wrath, let's have a nice soothing dip in the hot springs. Soothing springs, I'm not pointing this spell out because it's good. I'm pointing this spell out because it's really funny and absolutely worth carrying, at least as a scroll or a wand when you're high enough level and you don't care. This summons a hot springs, and if everyone relaxes in it for 1 hour, you get a huge heal and it removes fatigue. Why do you need a hot springs episode? Hey, why don't you? If you want something more generally useful, Vital Beacon is a unique healing spell at level 4. This fills you with vital energy, and people can spend 1 action to touch you and drain the beacon. By draining your beacon, they will be healed. It gets a little weaker every time someone gets a heal, but this lets you store a bunch of healing at the morning, and people can just take it as needed. It's kind of nice to have. Great wand spell, because like all 24-hour buffs, hey, it's up, it's working, you're not going to hate it. When it comes to consumables, they do get a little pricier by rank 4, but fly and unfettered movements are always worth a scroll or 2. You never know when you need it. And as mentioned, Vital Beacon, pretty good wand choice. Pretty good. Even so, us blasters, us damage dealers, what spells do we pick? Easy choice. We pick Divine Wrath, and then we pick Divine Wrath again. And maybe a 3rd time. I'm not even joking, this spell is so good. This is what you've been waiting for, damaged lovers. Okay, for your 1st spell, I would take Pernicious Poltergeist. This thing rules. Good sustained value over a fight. The option of hitting all 3 saving throws. It's just nice. Whereas for us more control and buff inclined, Divine Wrath is still an S+ tier pick, and hey, debuffs are good too. Vital Beacon is a nice way to store healing in yourself. Use this if you tend to be closer to your allies. Really good on War Priests. If you're really far from your friends all the time, maybe not so much. And if your GM allows it, War March, also Gerzanji's March, is really nice. You're not a bard, but hey, certain fights call for that buff aura and you can provide. Whereas at high levels, guess what? You still want Divine Wrath. Because guess what? Against a crowd of dudes, a chance of sickened 1 on fail with some okay damage on top, that never goes out of fashion. Even when the damage is bad, the sickened 1 is still good. Oh, and if they crit fail, they're slowed. It's just so tasty. Fly is probably going to want to be a permanent slot at high levels. You're going to use Flight way more often, just a good use of your spell slots. And Vital Beacon is just that day-long buff for the extra healing. If you don't pick up a wand, you may as well spend a spell slot on it. Rank 5, huh? You finally hit level 9. You're nice and settled into those mid levels. So what do we get at rank 5? The answer for Divine is quite a lot. Your damage, I mean, Divine Wrath is so good, you're still going to be packing that bad boy, but your damage options really open up here. Ancestral Winds, much like Ancestral Winds, this is an uncommon spell, and once again, one of those spells which I almost recommend just banning. Just a blanket gentleman's agreement amongst everyone that, hey, let's not use this. It is a 20-foot burst that, when you sustain it, does another 20-foot burst up to 30 feet away. Every time you do the burst, it does negative damage to living creatures, and they make a save. If they make the save, they're frightened 1. When they succeed, they're frightened. If they fail, they're frightened 2. What is Ancestral Winds? This is an AOE fear spell with a fireball on top that you repeat and move every round. No. No. That's way too good. But hey, if the group wants to use it, you should be packing Ancestral Winds. It's really good. Beyond that, Blood Feasting Breath is a very interesting one. A lower power skill, but high in versatility. This is 2 cones, a damage cone of fortitude, and a healing cone for your friends. While the numbers are lower at only 5d6, this is a nice way to tag both your buddies and your enemies at the same time. Note, the positioning might be pretty tough for you to make this work well, though. But what isn't tough to use is Divine Immolation. This is the name for Pathfinder of the classic Flame Strike, basically. Divine Immolation lights up a group of dudes with persistent damage on top of a normal fireball. The fireball with bonus damage over time. Not bad. And it's a reflex save, which, as we've covered, is a very rare thing for you, and therefore very much worth carrying to hit enemies with bad reflex. You'll want to hit dudes with bad will saves, and you're not using Ancestral Winds, you're going to want Mirror Malefactors. This is your single target. Do repeated damage every time you sustain it, and keep frightening the target. Just note, this spell will immediately stop if they succeed their will save, so definitely combine it with debuffs like Bon Mot from anyone with good charisma and diplomacy to try and keep their saving throw a little lower. Let's try and tilt the numbers in our favor. And if you don't care about tilting numbers, you want to do damage now. Rip the Spirit was made for you. Rip the Spirit is a pretty normal damage spell. For one action, you can hit like 1 dude for tiny damage. For 2 actions, you hit a dude for normal damage. For 3 actions, it's a 30-foot emanation. Massive AOE around you. Probably gonna hurt your friends. This ain't about them. But notably, it applies Drained 1 on a failed save, which, as we said, is a great debuff. But beyond just feasting on damage, the defensive reactions at rank 5 are insane. Breath of Life is such a signature move for Divine Casters. This is a reaction that when someone would die, not go to 0 HP, but straight up die, they don't. You heal them, instead of dying, their HP goes up. So powerful. However, I'll note, while this is super powerful, how often do friendlies die in your campaign? Do you want to spend a slot on this? It's a tough choice. I'm sure people go down, but do they die? If they only go down, instead, let's go for Divine Dragon's Watch. Now, note this is an uncommon spell, so ask your GM if you can use it, but it is a buff you cast on one ally, and it gives you a reaction for the day that you can use once. When that ally would go to 0 HP, you react, and instead, they don't go down. Instead, they stay at 1 hit point, and the dragon hits the enemy for a small amount of damage. That's really good. Just give your friend an orcish ferocity, but better. You love to see it. If you want something a little more active, though, Spiritual Guardian, this is what your divine weapon has leveled up and evolved into. Spiritual Guardian allows you to summon a, guardian that can teleport and hit an enemy every round when you sustain it, or you slap him onto a friend, and every time that friend takes a hit, the Guardian will absorb 10 points of the damage. That's 50 HP in a can. That's a nice guarantee, good flexibility, and you can swap between the modes whilst in the fight. Good for long battles. And see the Unseen, we're going to call out at rank 5. It lasts for 8 hours now. That's an 8-hour scene visibility. You're going to want to pick up a wand of this if you have cash. In terms of control and utility, though, rank 5 ain't no slouch. King's Castle is a really funny spell that allows you to swap places with one target in 60 feet of you. Get to castle, you know, like in chess. So this has a lot of uses. If an ally has better mobility than you, you can abuse this to help get around out of combat or in combat. But it's very team specific. This is the kind of spell that's as powerful as you make it. Definitely something that's harder to use out of the box. Scouting Eye and Sending are insanely good roleplay spells. Scouting Eye allows you to make, well, an invisible eye that flies ahead and scouts out the place. Great way to not fall into an ambush. And Sending allows you to send a 25-word message to someone anywhere on the planet. You can just send a message to someone. That's super good, dude. Super good. Very much something to carry a scroll of. And Wall of Flesh, yeah, I know, Wall of Flesh, ew. It's not even a good wall spell, but it is a wall spell. And more importantly, it's the only wall spell you're getting as a Divine Caster, so get used to summoning the gross eyeball wall. As we see the sheer number of reactions, buff spells, utility, there's a lot of things to buy at rank 5. Scouting Eye and Sending, great scrolls in general. Wall of Flesh, while it's gross, hey, it's a wall and sometimes you need that. And for wands, Divine Dragon's Watch and See the Unseen. As is tradition, these are day-long buffs. We love stacking buffs, baby. We stack buffs until the day is over. Oh yeah. Now that's a lot of money though. The rank 5 scrolls and wands are pretty pricey, so you're gonna have to consider carefully which ones make sense for your game. As a blaster, as a damage lover, what do you pick? There's a lot of options here. Ancestral Winds, if your GM is allowing it. If your game is not banning Ancestral Winds, why don't we go ahead and get that banned real fast? Well, we give that a use because this is the strongest spell at rank 5. You may as well use it. This thing is insane. Divine Immolation is a little more fair, but a lot of fun. I mean, I love some persistent damage on top of my fireball. Spiritual Guardian is a nice versatile way to either make swings on your enemies or protect your team, and maybe do both in the same fight. And Mirror Malefactors is our other choice for a will save. If we don't have Ancestral Winds, Mirror Malefactors is our sustained will save option for doing some damage and debuff at the same time. For us tacticians or strategy minded, again, Ancestral Winds is so OP you should take it anyways, but if we're not taking it, hey, maybe just bring a heal. I know it's strange. We said so many spells, and I'm out here saying, no, just bring heal. But tons of these spells are reactions. Reactions are not the strongest, not often a good use of your highest rank spells, but a giant heal always is. Always is. Outside of that, Wall of Flesh is going to see tons of use as a wall spell. The ability to control the battlefield and create terrain is unparalleled. And Spiritual Guardian, it's just a favorite of mine. What can I say? The versatility of absorbing damage and making attacks is real good. Now, you get the high levels, what do? Now we use reactions. Breath of Life, Divine Dragon's Watch. Now we don't need these spells. Once you're like level 15, these rank 5 spells aren't as big a deal. So let's keep powerful reactions on us, and we're still bringing Wall of Flesh. It's just good, man. I don't know what else to tell you. Your signature spell at this point doesn't matter as much because all of these spells aren't really good signature spells, so pick whatever. Or if you pick a different spell because it's one you love, take that one. For spontaneous casters, of course. That's your big power spike, ranks 4 and 5. This is when Divine Casters pop off in a big way. I hope you enjoy playing at this tier. Let me know if you really felt that power skyrocket that I experienced personally at this tier of play. And make sure you catch the rest of our videos, the high level content, by subscribing to us at Lord Generic RPG, or just asking us some questions in the comments. Either way, I'm Lord Generic, and I'll see you next time.